So it is November 30th and I am sitting in my car waiting to pick up my daughter from school, and I'm going to be getting weird looks from the other parents in line, but this is like the only moment today that I'm gonna have that I can record anything. So tomorrow I am starting my new writing project. I am going to be writing another fantasy romance. This is a sequel, well, a standalone of its own, but the next installment in the series of fantasy romance standalones that I've been working on. I think how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna just like vlog a little bit each day and then kind of assemble everything all at once at the end of each week, maybe every other week, depending on how much writing I get done. Talk a little bit about the different issues that I encounter and how I get myself unstuck. It'll probably be pretty spoiler heavy, so if you're interested in reading the books, you may not want to listen to everything. So I had really wanted to take a day off before jumping in, but my YouTube schedule for my other channel it didn't really work out the way I wanted, so I didn't end up having any time off. But yeah, I'll check back in tomorrow morning. It's December, and that means I am going to start writing again. So I had a goal this morning to try to start writing by 9:30, and it is 9:10 right now. I just need to make myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to warm up a bag of grain to put on my neck because my neck is kind of stiff. I didn't sleep very well, so I'm a little bit tired. I'm setting a goal for myself today to try to get 2,500 words down. That's kind of a high number after not writing for over a month, but I think I can do it. I'm gonna go like wash my face and stuff first. I haven't done that yet this morning, but I've gotten all of my chores done, so that's the important stuff out of the way. If everything goes well today and I'm able to hit that word count before lunch, then I am going to run some errands. I really want to get some blackout curtains for the master bedroom. I had these really pretty gauzy curtains, and unfortunately the neighbors installed a motion detecting floodlight like right beside our windows. Our houses are pretty close together, and anytime their cats come in and out the cat door at night, the motion sensor light comes on and it's like pointed right in our windows, and it wakes us up every time. So right now we have these really ugly red curtains just like thrown over the top of my pretty ones. So I want to try to get something a little bit more attractive. But anyway, we'll see. Time for writing. Okay, so it's a little noisy in here because the dishwasher is running, but I made myself a cup of tea and I have a cup of ice water. Got my headphones, so I got some music queued up. I just finished formatting my document for this, so it's all set up the way that I want and the way that I like. I'm gonna start writing. I've got my planner here and I'm going to write down my sprints here. I'll probably start with 10-minute sprints because I haven't written for a while and it'll take me a little bit of time to get going. But I'm gonna set my timer, and each column I'm going to do like 1,000 for each of these, 1,000 words, and then I need 500 for this one. I don't know if I'm going to make that before lunchtime or after, but we're just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna hope for the best. It is December 2nd, and yesterday I ended up doing 2,800 words. And I'm getting a little bit of a late start today. I had a lot more housework that I needed to do today, so it's almost 11 and I'm only just now sitting down to do my writing. I wanted to try to get 3,000 words today, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. If I can make it to 2,500 today, then I think I'll be happy with that. But I realized that I actually didn't say a whole lot about the project that I'm working on yesterday when I started this video vlogging stuff. So here's a little bit about what I am working on this time. So I know I said that it's an artisan magic book, which that is a world that I started with one of my last books, The Assassin's Bride. And in that world, the only magic is worked through different artisan crafts. So this book is going to follow Elia, who is Thea's cousin. She was introduced as a minor side character in the previous book. Now she is getting her own story, and this one is titled The Spy Master's Prize. So what I did yesterday was the first chapter, just setting everything up, introducing the characters, having the meet cute, which ended up being an axe fight. So my romances apparently tend to have a lot of action in them. So we've already had like a kidnapping and an axe fight, and somebody got stabbed. So which I'm doing a lot better than my last book, because The Assassin's Bride, somebody was decapitated by the third page. So I have an outline for this, and I usually do kind of like scene breakdowns on index cards, but I'm going to reserve that for when I start getting more stuck. Right now everything is flowing really well just off my outline notes, and I will share those at some point, not today, maybe in a future video when I share like my outline and the note cards that I end up making for myself and everything. Right now, since everything is going well, I don't really need to take the time to sit down and do that. So that's one of my getting unstuck methods. The first chapter ended with the two main characters ending up trapped inside a cabin during a blizzard. One of them is injured, so we're going to go through the whole, like the bandaging up and figuring out how they're going to get out of this situation in the second chapter, which is also going to be when they, properly introduce themselves. So I think that's going to be fun to write, and I'm hoping it goes well today. So there's not really a whole lot to share yet, because I think the most interesting parts of writing the story are when you start hitting problems and figuring out how to solve them. So I usually don't run into trouble until like at least a quarter of the way through, sometimes halfway through. So for a bit, it's just going to be just like, hey, this is how many words I wrote for right now. But I'm going to get going on this. If I can, I will make another clip later to talk about how many words I ended up getting today. And if not, I'll check back in on Monday when my house is quiet and I can do that, because right now I'm the only one here, and that's how I'm able to get my work done and be able to do some vlogging. But over the weekend, it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be a miracle if I get any writing done over the weekends, but I'm gonna try. So today is Tuesday, December 6th, and I ended up not having time to record anything about yesterday's work. Over the weekend, I wrote 256 words on Saturday, and then I didn't write anything on Sunday. And that's really common, and I try to structure a lot of my plans around not being able to do any work on weekends, because it never seems to work out, and it's a lot less pressure and stress on me if I just assume that every weekend I'm not going to get anything done. Because then if I do end up having a little bit of time, like I was able to sit down for a bit on Saturday for about 10 minutes and I got 256 words, that's a bonus. That's a little bit extra. That's gravy on top. So for the rest of this project, I think I'm going to try to stick to that and just assume that over weekends there's not going to be any writing happening whatsoever. Yesterday, I set a goal of 3,000 words again, and I got 3,042, but it was really difficult toward the end. I was kind of losing steam. I think it's because I haven't been sleeping well. I hear my kitty cat crying. Noodle, where are you? Where are you? Come here. Come here, I'll give you pets. So anytime that I'm not sleeping well, it's always a lot harder. Obviously when I'm tired, I don't write well. And that's why I can't wait to do my writing until the evenings, because if I don't get any words in earlier in the day and I don't sit down until like 9 o'clock, I'm exhausted and I have no mental energy left. And I don't get anything else done at that point. It just doesn't happen. So at this point in time, I have about 9,000 words. Wish that I could count on having the rest of the month to get these kind of word counts, but I know that's also not going to happen. I have a week until my parents arrive for a visit, And then after my parents leave, then my daughter will be out of school for Christmas break. And I think across Christmas break, probably the most I'm going to be able to write is maybe like 1,000 words a day. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to finish this book until January. And that's okay. It's just sort of the way it goes, you know. You have to fit it in where you can, and whenever you are the primary childcare person, then, you know, baby always comes first. Anyway, today's goal is also going to be 3,000 words, but I'm going to see if I can break it up, and I'm going to do 1,000 this morning and then give myself some time to work on something different. And then maybe another 1,000 this afternoon, and then we'll see if I can manage to do 1,000 this afternoon after my daughter gets home from school. I don't know how likely that's going to be. I think for today, if I make it to 2,000, I'll consider it a win, and anything else beyond that is, you know, that's bonus, because you gotta try to stay positive, right? I have not written at my desk in a month. Let me show you what that means. So here is the state of my desk. I'm going to be writing at my desk today, so I need to do something about all this first. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's better, so this is good enough for me to get started. I've got my tea, and I'm going to try to do some writing. So today is Monday, December 12th, and I started the morning with about 1,500 words total. I hit a slowdown on Friday because I realized that things weren't really working in the story the way that I wanted them to. And when I started thinking about it, I felt like part of the reason that it wasn't flowing the way that I really needed and wanted the story to go is I was trying to write it as a single POV story, the same way that I had done with the first book in this series, The Assassin's Bride. And that wasn't really working because the character who falls faster and falls first is the hero, and by sticking in the heroine's POV, we weren't really getting any of that because Cass is really stoic and he doesn't share any of this inward emotion. So everything felt a little stiff and stilted trying to do it all just from one POV. I decided partway through that I was going to rewrite one of the early chapters to be from his perspective instead. And that worked so much better because it really gave me a chance to get into his head and show the things that he was feeling. So it made the beginning a lot stronger. And I feel like I was trying to keep things consistent by having the books all be just one POV, but it's really not necessary because that's not what this story needed. This story needs to be two POV, and it's okay for me to make that break. It's still third person. My writing style is the same, so it'll be fine. Each book has different needs, and I think this book is going to be a lot stronger for it. One of the main reasons that I couldn't do The Assassin's Bride in a dual POV is because Gil had too many secrets, and it would have really messed up all of my plot twists if I had been in his head for any of the book. And by the time you start figuring things out, you're already more than halfway through the book, and that really seemed too late to try to pull in a new POV. So this one, we get it a lot earlier, so it's working out so much better now. This week is going to be awful, so I'm probably not going to do any vlogging for the rest of the week. I got some merchandise that I'm going to be using for like tables and booth setups and things if I ever do events, and I'm going to do a little video about those pretty soon, but otherwise I'm just going to check in next week and kind of tell you how things went. I've got family that's going to be visiting this week, so I'm not going to get a whole lot done. My goal for this week is just getting from 15,000 up to 20,000 words as a minimum, Anything beyond that is great, but I'm only gonna have 2 days this week that I can write. So wish me luck, and I'll check in again next week.